Hallelujah! Shalom, family. Love to the 12 tribes of Yasharal scattered abroad. Welcome. Let's talk about preparing for the Day of Atonement, Yom Kippur. Wa'ikra, or Leviticus chapter 16. And this shall be a statute forever unto you, that in the 7th month, on the 10th day of the month, you shall afflict your souls, and do no work at all, whether it be one of your own country, or a stranger that sojourns among you. For on that day shall the priest make an atonement for you, to cleanse you, that you may be clean from all your sins before Yahuwah. It shall be a Sabbath of rest unto you, and you shall afflict your souls by a statute forever. So some things to notice here with the instructions for this appointed time. It is a statute forever. This does not change with the ministry, the death and resurrection and ascension of Yahushua HaMashiach. We are still to rehearse these appointed times. We are not to add to His word or diminish from His word. Right? Okay? And we see that from the very institution of the covenant and the Torah given to our forefathers, the Israelites, that there was one Torah for the Israelite and for the non-Israelite, the stranger that lives among us. So let's look at these words. Afflict. The basic Hebrew word there is ana. Soul. The basic Hebrew word there is nefesh. And atonement. The basic Hebrew word there is kippur. Kippur. Kippur or Kippur is translated into English as atonement. Kippur or kafar means to cover, purge, make an atonement, make reconciliation, placate, cancel, disannul, forgive, be merciful, pacify. Verse 32, and the priest whom he shall anoint, and whom he shall consecrate to minister in the priest's office in his father's stead, shall make the atonement, and shall put on the linen clothes, even the set-apart garments. And he shall make an atonement for the set-apart sanctuary, and he shall make an atonement for the tabernacle of the congregation, and for the altar, and he shall make an atonement for the priest, and for all the people of the congregation. And this shall be an everlasting statute unto you, to make an atonement for the children of Yasharal for all their sins once a year. And he did as Yahuwah commanded Moshe. So again, this is an everlasting statute. So we should not get confused with doctrines of Christianity that influence us in saying that Yahushua HaMashiach changed something. Yahushua HaMashiach is Malach Yahuwah. He is the messenger Yahuwah. He's the one that gave these laws, statutes, and commandments to Moshe. So we know that Yahusha is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. He does not change, and we're to rehearse these moedim, and as it says here in verse 34, as an everlasting statute. Chapter 23. And Yahuwah spoke unto Moshe, saying, On the 10th day of this 7th month there shall be a day of atonement. It shall be a set-apart convocation unto you, and you shall afflict your souls, and offer an offering made by fire unto Yahuwah. And you shall do no work in that same day, for it is a day of atonement, to make an atonement for you before Yahuwah Alaik. So that phrase, Day of Atonement, in Hebrew is Yom HaKaparim, which literally translates to Day of the Atonement or Day of the Coverings. Verse 29. For whatsoever soul it be that shall not be afflicted in that same day, he shall be cut off from among his people. And whatsoever soul it be that does any work in that same day, the same soul will I destroy from among his people. You shall do no manner of work. It shall be a statute forever throughout your generations in all your dwellings. So a statute forever through all generations of Israelites wherever we live. Verse 32. It shall be unto you a Sabbath of rest, and you shall afflict your souls. In the 9th day of the month at even, from even unto even shall you celebrate your Sabbath. So it's even specifying it's supposed to start the end of the 9th day.
Do me a huge favor and smash the like button. And also consider subscribing. It really helps me to grow the channel. And the more the channel grows, the more we all can spread the word.
Bamidbar, or Numbers chapter 29. And you shall have on the 10th day of this 7th month a set-apart convocation, and you shall afflict your souls. You shall not do any work therein. Tehillah, or Psalm 35. But as for me, when they were sick, my clothing was sackcloth. I humbled my soul with fasting, and my prayer returned into my own bosom. So notice here, the same words are used here in this psalm, whereas before, that word ana was translated as afflict. Here is translated as humbled. And soul, again, nefesh. So Daud is recounting that he humbled or afflicted his soul with fasting. So this is how we understand that afflicting our souls. How do we do it? We do it with fasting. Vayikra, or Leviticus chapter 25. And you shall number 7 Sabbaths of years unto you, 7 times 7 years. And the space of the 7 Sabbaths of years shall be unto you 49 years. Then shall you cause the trumpet of the Jubilee to sound on the 10th day of the 7th month. In the day of atonement shall you make the trumpet sound throughout all your land. And you shall set apart the 50th year, and proclaim liberty throughout all the land unto all the inhabitants thereof. It shall be a jubilee unto you, and you shall return every man unto his possession, and you shall return every man unto his family. So we have the announcement of Jubilee, or Hebrew Yubal, after every count of 49 years. Okay? On the Day of Atonement, in that 49th year. So we notice that in verse 9, even though it's translated into English as Trumpet of the Jubilee, that word there in English Jubilee in the Hebrew is Teruah. And then in verse 10, Jubilee is translated from the Hebrew Yobel. So Yobel means ram, ram's horn, trumpet, cornet. Verse 11, a Yubel shall that 50th year be unto you. You shall not sow, neither reap that which grows of itself in it, nor gather the grapes in it of your vine undressed. For it is the Yubal. It shall be set apart unto you. You shall eat the increase thereof out of the field. In the year of this Yubal, you shall return every man unto his possession. So, on the Day of Atonement, in the cycle of the 49 years, is the announcement of the Yubal year, the 50th year. Alright, so Yom Kippur, or Yom HaKippurim, is the 10th day of the 7th month. And like all appointed times Moedim, there are trumpets to be blown to announce the appointed times. It is to have a set-apart convocation, a set-apart gathering. No servile work is to be done. It is a Shabbat HaGadol, a high Sabbath. It is a day of fasting and penitence. And like all set-apart days, we are to avoid things that make us unclean.
Fear Elohim and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. Bind up the testimony, seal the Torah among my disciples. Shalom, family. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to click the subscribe button. Like, comment, and share.